Thank you, everybody. Hello, all of you that are here that chose this session. It commits you to being someone who is standing on the right side of history. And you'll see why in a little bit. I never really know what I'm going to talk about when I get on stage. It just flows. I am just some regular dude out of Lynn Valley. I grew up in Victoria. I grew up on the beach. And everything I'm going to tell you about today or share with you today has been just a part of the occurrence of my life. I'm executing on some really interesting things that are not by any means perfect. They continue to form and change and grow and be and emerge in a way that I get to witness the true change of humanity. I'm going to paint my story with all of you so you have an idea of what we do, how it's come to be. I want to share some of the wisdoms that I've learned along the way. And I want to engage you all in conversation and dialogue. I don't want it to be a monologue. It's always the most powerful for me and in all of the work that I do when you ask questions. Much of the gift of what I talk about comes in that as well. I'm going to take you through a journey of why we're doing what we're doing, what we do, about the commercial application of it, and about the human journey that it all requires. Cool? Cool. Along the way, contemplate your yeah buts or yes ands. Yeah, but this, but, oh, yes and, which are the most important, most successful. But a yeah but challenges me as well. And it helps you understand and the crowd understand more about why we do what we do. Super powerful. And I commit to you that this is a humanity-changing session. Commit to you. Because at the end of this session, you will witness in yourself a new way of thinking. And if I can do that, massive success for everybody. I'm going to start with a couple of questions just to paint the idea of what we do. Who here has traveled? Who here has traveled to somewhere and they've witnessed poverty? Have you witnessed poverty? Think of people who live in that condition. Even if you haven't seen them, you would have witnessed them in media or somewhere. Imagine yourself living on no income, or 25 cents, or 50 cents, or 60 cents, or $1. Imagine yourself living in that condition where you're fighting for $1, you're fighting for your existence, and you have 4 children. Now imagine that condition and then you live under a tarp. Or you live in aluminum siding. Imagine if you live in that condition, you've never left your village, you have no education. What do you struggle for? What are the things you need when you live in that condition? What do you need? Food? Shelter? Clothing? Clean water that won't make you sick, that your children won't die from drinking? What pain medicine? Cooking fuel. And it's not just food, diversified food. Diabetes continues to rise from just the existence of white rice. Diversified food, diversified protein sources. Knowledge, education, the opportunity for poverty to leave your family by at some point you have an opportunity to have your children at least learn the basics. You got all that? I mean, you could imagine more. Now, the places that you think of that are overwhelmed with poverty, I think you also witness an overwhelm of plastic pollution. Yeah? They're not places that are in line with stewardship of the environment at all. We ultimately use one of those problems to solve the other. I communicate that what we are stores worldwide for the poor. And we offer everything that we communicated, from diversified food to clean water to medical insurance and school tuition, power, minutes, eye care, and everything that the world's true poor need, but we only accept plastic garbage as money. Garbage that lies beneath your feet to pay for medicine for your children. Garbage beneath your feet to pay for school tuition for maybe that last girl that you can't afford to send. And on and on. Inside of that is banking. We're plastic bank. Banking, the more frequently you collect and return the material, you earn financial inclusion. We're now just launching zero interest loans to the world's poor. Have you ever had to borrow money? How difficult, how much paperwork, how much administration is there to substantiate your ability to repay? A little or a lot? A lot. And you're someone of substance. And you still have to go through a lot. And you got to prove how much money you make. You got to prove that you've got an asset to repay. You got to prove if you have either debt. So how do you do that when you live under a sheet? You can't. So what do you do when you need to borrow money? You go to a loan shark. African continent, average interest rate today, 50. That's 50% interest. Enslavement. But now, because you collect plastic frequently enough and you return it consistently enough, and we know how much material you're collecting and returning, and we can see who else you might be invited into that idea, we can substantiate your reliability easily. And we see how much you earn, so we give zero interest loans to the poor. And you pay back with plastic. You pay back with garbage. You see, plastic as a currency in the world, that's what we've created at large. We're currently have enrolled about 53,000 families. Let's say there's 4 or 5 people per family, maybe 250,000 people that have had additionality in their lives, additional opportunity, additional hope, ideas of prosperity that they can actually solve their own conditions. Because I can assure you here that you cannot donate the end of poverty. You cannot donate the end of poverty. What we do is we create the condition where poverty can alleviate itself. And it self-perpetuates a poverty alleviating mechanism. Prosperity mindset. Who here has heard of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? A few over here, a few over here. Many might not have. But the United Nations has set out an endeavor of 17 ambitions for all of humanity that we need to address if we are to make an impact on life on the planet. 17 ambitions. The 17 ambitions are in order from 1 to 17. If we get to life below water or life on land, 14, 15, or 13, 14, if we're to solve anything in the ocean, if we're to solve education, hunger, gender equality, opportunities, we have to solve number 1. Number 1, end poverty. We will never solve marine debris if we don't solve the root cause. Fact. It's like walking into your kitchen. If the sink is overflowing, water is spilling all over the floor, it's seeping into the foundation, it jeopardizes the entirety of the home, and you're in a panic, and in front of you, you've got a bucket, you've got a mop, you've got a plunger. What do you choose first? What do you do first? Turn off the tap. Futile to mop, plunge, or scoop up the water if you don't turn the tap off first. So why aren't we doing the same thing for the ocean? We have all these companies that are selling trinkets, bracelets and things, which are all great at habitat restoration. Don't get me wrong, that's critically important. We need to be doing that simultaneously. But buying a bracelet is like your thoughts and prayers for the ocean. It's not actually participating in the solution. What I'm trying to give you are the self-evident truths. The way it works would be like one of our collectors, let's say in Bali, they would create a route. It's a very gig economy. They would go out during the day. They would go collect volumes of material. They'd bring it back to a collection location where it's weighed, checked for quality. A value is established, and a value is deposited into their digital account, which gives them a sense of security. It gives them a sense of identity. It becomes magnetic because for many, it's the first time they've ever been able to save anything. And it gives us a chance to see people. Incredibly powerful. The material that we collect, vast volumes, we recently just announced 7 point something billion bottles collected by hand. 7 billion bottles. 7,000 million bottles, the equivalent of that collected by our communities around the world, collecting material hand by hand, gathering together, bringing value into the emerging economies. You see, 80% of the plastic that's entering the ocean is coming from areas of extreme poverty. That's a fact. It's not whether you're using a straw or not. No, every little bit counts. It's important. And I'm an advocate to reduce and eliminate as much as we can. But the fact of the matter is that the volumes of material flowing into the ocean are coming from areas that have no recycling infrastructure. That's just the what so. They don't have food for the population. There's no medicine for the population. There's no education for the population. They're definitely not setting up recycling or waste management. So what do? You either burn it, which is super common, and you suffer the cardiopulmonary disease that it causes, or you throw it in the canal. And it accumulates over the dry season, and the rainy season comes, the big purge, and it washes it all out to sea. That's it. Do you want to know why there's plastic in the ocean? Poverty. As much as you want to advocate against it. If every piece of plastic packaging that you encountered, everything that you encountered, whatever's a bottle, a wrapping, a bag, whatever it was immediately and easily exchangeable for $5 US, how many would you still see flowing into the ocean? How many? 0. If it was immediately exchangeable for high value, poverty alleviating value, value for self, would people walk past it? No. So it's got nothing to do with the plastic. It has everything to do with us. It's the way we've been viewing the material, the way we've been choosing it to be as worthless, but it's not. And often, the expense in the product that you're actually buying is more in the packaging itself than in the contents. So for everyone who wants to vilify plastic, that wants to point the finger outside and say someone else, something else, plastic bad, ban this, ban that, look inside and see how you're participating first. Because that's the root of it all. It's not outside of self. You see, the problem is when we believe the problem lies outside. That is the problem. The problem is here. The solution also lies here. It's the gift of it all. So I gave you guys a quick idea of the work we do. I started off in Haiti, which was crazy. Haiti was crazy. I really do have some levels of PTSD from the work there. Like, I'm a for prosperity business. I'm not a charity. We're for prosperity. We're for prosperity for all of humanity. It's like win, 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 win. Which it needs to be. It really needs to have that prosperity mindset inside of it. And much of what I'm trying to talk to you about today is about that thinking, so you can see how it works. I'm trying to give you a real life example of the thinking. Because what I want you to leave with is the thinking behind all of this. And if you can take the thinking away, then all of humanity can change. Plastic bank is just one expression behind it. Lots in that conversation. The plastic wins. It becomes new again. The brands that participate with us, they win. They get a quality feedstock that comes with profound social story. The consumer wins because they're participating in great change. Our collector community wins profoundly. We win as a business. Humanity wins. The ocean wins. And we all rely upon each other in an approach that builds prosperity for the other. It's remarkable. And I get to witness it all. It's really just been this beautiful, crazy journey. And then from Haiti, we went to the Philippines, one of the top contributing countries to marine debris. We have tens of thousands of collectors there. Then we went to Indonesia, tens of thousands of people there as well. Also one of the major contributors to marine debris. And then that took me to Brazil. We operate out of Rio. Office in Sao Paulo. We went to Cairo, the Nile, one of the top 10 contributing rivers, the top contributing river to marine debris in the Mediterranean. We have a licensed partner in Cameroon. Next to Nigeria, Niger River, one of the major contributing rivers as well. Africa needs to be tackled. And then we went to Thailand, beautiful ecosystem, high quality partners in Thailand. So on the whole journey, I've built this like crazy multinational working in areas of extreme poverty, trying to work on behalf of all of humanity. And I'm really just trying to like be a stand for everyone and create this beautiful invitation to participate. So that's a lot of the work. You got all of that. Cool. Any questions about any of that right now before I move on? Questions? It's a conversation. Yes.
Is it getting better?
Is what getting better?
The ocean, the debris in the ocean.
No. It's not. The plastic production continues to increase. And as poverty decreases, which is occurring beautifully, luckily, that new consumer class is buying more. And in the areas of greatest contribution to marine debris, we have a consumer class that is buying more things in plastic. Plastic production globally continues to increase, and we see, so far, no abatement. But it's not hopeless, because all of you have a new way of thinking. And we all get to participate in something different. We're going to get to that in a minute. And thank you for the question. And in spite of that, no, because of that, it inspires me further. Because there's more work to do. And you see, nothing that we're doing is against the laws of physics. It's hard, yeah. Sometimes it seems absolutely impossible, and often it seems improbable. But it's not against the laws of physics. So we can continue to tackle it. And we as an organization, as a business, continue to figure out how to do it more effectively, more powerfully in the world. And how to engage more people and bring more people together. So let me ask you, as we segue, who here thinks someone should be doing something about all of the challenges in humanity? Handsome man in the back happens to be Phil from Plastic Bank. Good for you. Raise for you. No raise. Who else? Does someone need to do something about everything that's happening? Yes, someone needs to. Who's coming? Is anyone? I'm trying to do my tiny little part. Is any big government coming? No. Is any individual person standing up and saying, yes, let's join, let's do something? Is any big public company, the polluters, are they doing anything about what's occurring? No. Who's left? Who's left? Us. The only people left to do anything about anything in the world is us. It's you and 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 all of us. That's what's left. And I believe in that. I believe in a renaissance and a revolution, a different way of thinking in the world that combines us, that makes change. From the ground up, that's the way. But let's talk about the next generation. Let's talk about Greta generation, whatever we'll call them. Let's talk about Alpha generation, the next generation beyond. Most everybody here is in business. Let me ask you, do businesses succeed by investing in what is or what will be? What will be? What will be? Now, contemplate an entirety of a generation that went through the financial crisis, that thought all things were lost. They went through the proliferation of marine debris, the conversation at least, climate change, the ongoing conversation of carbon. They went through COVID, war, and on and on and on. Do you believe that generation has an internal sense of peace about themselves? No, they don't. Not at all. And you know how the algorithms work. Whatever you think about, it starts presenting, and then whatever you look at, it presents more and more of. Fact. So that generation who is being bombarded by negativity becomes overwhelming. And more, and more, and more, and another war, and more animals dying, and the climate is dying. You have an entirety of a generation that is scared, and they think it's all your fault. So tell me how easy it is to connect with the soul and the heart of someone who believes you are the reason that they are so scared. We'll address that in a sec. You know what? I want to get back to your question, because what I want you to all know as well, because it sounded a bit negative, is that the earth is going to be fine. Ultimately, that's the question. The earth is going to be absolutely 100% fine, everyone. Let me take that away from you. Absolute, no, there's without a doubt. Without a doubt. And the oceans are going to be like alive, teeming, abundant. The skies, the land, everything, the forests, powerful, more species than we could ever imagine. We won't be here. But the earth is going to be amazing. So it has nothing to do with the earth. One day a year we have Earth Day. How misplaced, how foolish. If we actually labeled it for what it was, which is Save Humanity Day, I think we'd probably have more participants. Don't you? It's a self-evident truth. Earth is fine. We're fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for the species. And there's nothing that says that we need to survive, by the way. Not at all. This could just be this little flash in the pan of our existence. We've been only one of 10 billion species that has ever existed on the planet. One of 10 billion species. Set aside the incalculable amount of souls and lives that have existed on the earth. Of the 10 billion species, did you know that we have, as humans, we've been the only species that has ever had the chance, the only species that has the ability to steward and care for all other life? And look what we've done. Huh. How sad. Huh. Have we missed our purpose? Have we maybe missed the reason for our existence? I'll leave that question with you. And knowing what I know today, it puts me even to more inspired action, realizing and revealing this to everybody else, that we can all be a part of that, because nobody else is coming, it's just us. Back to the business conversation of recognizing we need to invest in what will be and not what is. And what will be is an entirety of a generation that is emerging thinking that we have all messed it up. And I'm here to tell you that what is emerging today is the purpose economy. Sustainability, it's not even a word you should be using. It's super passé. Sustainability was a word from before. It's a what is, and if it's a what is, it's a what was. If you really want to engage and be inspired in your own sense of being, in the creation of your own organization and moving forward, you can talk about regeneration. Because sustainability is just trying to maintain the damage that's already been done. But the regenerative economy provides a space for us to repair and restore and return the earth and humanity and all life back to the way that it should be. And see, and in regeneration, it is a prosperity mindset. It's prosperity, regenerative, even building more and building more. You see, it's a prosperity mindset. It is, in fact, part of the laws of the earth. We've been contravening them. And now I'm inviting you into your business model and thinking. And again, don't forget, I'm not telling you anything today. I'm just giving you examples and sharing with you stories so that you can see how it might live within your own life and in your own business. Because this needs to be an absolute for-profit methodology, because prosperity includes that into change. It's for prosperity. The next generation of consumer, hyper-aware of the challenges that I just talked about, that also believes that someone should be doing something about it, recognizing that no one is showing up to do anything about it, are becoming powerfully vocal against those who are doing nothing. Even the conversation of greenwashing, a modern conversation, greenwashing. People are hyper-aware of people that talk BS. It's a double-edged sword simultaneously, because at the same time, we've got all kinds of people who are trying, and they want to start because the enemy of the perfect is the good enough. And we have an entire generation hyper-aware of people that are whitewashing or BSing them, and they want to see authenticity. And authenticity lies in the regenerative economy, not just saying that I'm not going to do any more damage, but that I'm actually going to stand forward for the regenerative economy and stand forward for something that will actually repair and restore. And inside of that is tribe. Tribe. And imagine being that organization, that business, that person who stands on that side of history, that stands forward and says, my business will do well in the world. It will restore and repair and regenerate all life. And every time you come into my business, every time you do business with me, every time we pick up the phone, the world gets better. Ooh, do you? Cool. Show me. Which is where we embarked powerfully in our early days with IBM. I'm entirely indebted to IBM. They spoke earlier today. They've been a giant stand for us. All of our blockchain is ultimately lives in the Hyperledger language. We are housed with IBM, and they have been a tremendous partner. I just want to give them a little bit of a plug, because they've been profound for us and all of humanity. Because 10 years ago, they also decided to do what will be. So here you have an opportunity, understanding the next generation of consumer powerfully focused on that. And I've got to be investing in what will be, and what will be is a generation looking for a sense of peace. And don't forget, people Now, in this purpose economy, are not going to be doing business with you because of what you do. They're going to do business with you because of why you do what you do. And why you do what you do is not enough to say, oh, we provide security. It's not enough. Oh, we sell clothing. It's not enough. Why do you sell clothing? We sell clothing because we believe that no one should go cold. And that every time we sell clothing in our store, life changes for people around the world. That's why we do what we do. It just happens to come with clothing, but the why is to ensure that no one should go homeless. That's a whole different message. We sell security. No, you don't. How about you provide a space for people to be at peace, where at home they feel safe, and we provide a place for people to have homes and a door so that children are not afraid anymore. It happens to come with selling security, and the way that we all do it together and building our tribe creates that space. That's a different communication. That's a different message. And let me assure you, every employee in your organization who is as well going to be a part of that community, that next generation, wants to say that. They don't want to work at an organization that is killing the planet, humanity. They want to work somewhere where they can be proud and say, yeah, you know what, I'm working at this cafe, and man, this is what we're up to. We're like, every time someone buys something, 10 bottles are extracted from the environment and the money goes to the poor. It's amazing. And then every month I work there, on my behalf, they take out 10,000 bottles from the environment, and I can see through the blockchain, I can go online, I can see exactly which families are receiving that money because I'm working here. I made the world better. How cool. Or you can do the same thing with your customers, so they can see what they're doing. Every time they pay their bill, they can see the world change, so that they're a part of your tribe. You end up working together powerfully. Because what I'm talking about now is purpose as a tool. Because that's what's available. Don't forget, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm prosperity focused. And purpose as a tool is something that you all need to be thinking about. Because that generation is coming, that way of being is emerging. You need to begin figuring it out today. What is your absolute why, and how do you use that purpose to build your business? And in using purpose in your business, you create a regenerative society. And you all win. Powerful. Amazing. And it gives you a why. And it gives you a way to persevere the daily challenges of your business and everything else you have to overcome. It's remarkable. And it's just crazy fun. And inspiring for everyone. I've got 10 minutes left. At the end of questions, I've got another ask for you. I gave you guys a good highlight. I gave you an idea of what we do. I gave you an idea of why we do it. And then I took you through to the next generation about why it's important for the next generation and how they are looking to all of you to be a part of the solution and not a part of the pollution. And how they're looking for organizations where they can hang their hat, where they can work at, where they can spend their money at, so that they know themselves that they are the ones that help save humanity. So, with that, this is a conversation. And I talked about all kinds of things. And there's yes, ands, and yeah, buts, questions. Who's got a question? Yes, ma'am. You now owe me $100. Thank you. Jackie.
Donate it to charity. Or to the bank.
Thank you.
In terms of, what's the biggest obstacle you faced along the way of developing out this business? And
Do you want the absolute authentic answer? This is not what people expect. Because I could talk about supply chain and logistics and bullshit, but the absolute truth of it is me. The absolute truth of it is putting down all of the stories I have in my head that I've had the entirety of my life that said I cannot do it. And healing that and becoming the person who can actually make change in humanity. That's this journey for me. That's this journey on stage in front of people. or the thousands that I speak in front of. It's about being that soul. And that's juicy. It's beautiful. So inside of everything I'm telling you about is that journey. It's like, it's so delicious. It's like the wholeness of your life lies in it. And then there's logistics and supply chain and customers and stuff. And, we've built a business. We're in the tens and tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars of revenue, right? I've built a real business. Like we're, on the other side, a small to mid-sized business, right? So I'm speaking from, building something of purpose, of size, that is of substance in the world, that's prosperous. We're profitable. We continue to pivot and change and be more simple and stuff. All of that, of course, that's all going to occur. But I can tell you, persevering, it's really easy when I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it. And when I go into a community and I'm with someone who now has, my beautiful wife's back there too, so we do some beautiful things in the world where we go around, we go see collectors who do cool things, and we help touch their lives in a way that has them like transform. And there's this one family in Bali that has our picture in her living room. And she's like, the conversation's like, well, David, you're the only person who's ever seen me. Whew. Ooh, super cool. And all kinds of stories like that. And so, yeah, I feel like I've done what I've done what I was born for. I feel super complete. And yet there's still so much to do. Thank you for that. What else?
I think we've got time for one or two.
Do I still have 8 minutes? What? My clock says 8 minutes. Yes, sir. Question in the back.
Appreciate that answer of like yourself being the barrier. I resonate with that, but like, how are you actually like changing business of a corporation that it's basically its own entity, and it's like a well-oiled machine, and it's used to this machine. That's not like how are you actually like?
How are we executing on it?
How are you influencing
Yeah.
such a machine?
I know. It's crazy. It's really remarkable. And a part of that healing journey is about creating the space and my very essence of being. And by the way, I would not use well-oiled machine. I would use old two-stroke engine full of sand. So that's pretty much what we are. And we continue to emerge and grow and learn and stuff. But the way that I try to work as an executive in the organization is to create the self-actualized souls, recognizing that people that come to work for us come because they want to be a part of changing the world. And if I just tell them what to do all the time, they're only taking orders. And that is not giving them a chance to actually be the person who changes humanity. And so I try to manage by responsibility and say, your responsibility is being the voice of the organization. You are the voice. You are the soul, the breath of the company. How do you do that? I don't know. That's for you. And I exhibit my own healing journey so that they can face their own demons to come into be a place where they're the voice and soul of the company, like that man next to you, because that's his responsibility, to be the breath of us. And if you've spoken to him, you can see that it flows from him, it emanates from him. And when I take the entirety of the organization, whether it be in finance or marketing or customers or loving people, and I breathe love into them, that's what occurs. It's the craziest thing. It sounds so wacko. It sounds so woo-woo, and I feel like I'm a hippie, and it's the weirdest thing because this is the farthest thing from anything that I ever envisioned myself to be 10 years ago. I was a suit-wearing, tie-wearing, executive type, thinking that my business needed to be this and that, and crazy. And so what I get out of all of it is the journey, because I powerfully know that the destination is the journey. And I try to live a very conscious, very now, and very here life. So I get to witness it all and be in the beauty of it all. And I got my family that works with me, and it's fucking delicious. It's delicious. and
Let's
Phil
get
could
these
fit you
guys.
in.
Let's milk
What,
this.
there's
No,
more,
we're
what?
Gonna, we're gonna milk this. Well, see, here's the
I have a
problem.
minute and 40 seconds
I know.
left.
So let's get
So-
2 in a minute and 40, and we'll make it 2 minutes, because
Okay.
we can break rules.
Yes, we
right?
can, of course.
Okay. Anybody else? Who's up? Back.
How can we get involved?
Thank you, Noah.
That was mine.
That's my son. So that's okay, so this is the meat of all of this, and this is why I'm here, because I'm building a movement. That's what's occurring. And all of you said that no one else is coming, and you all agreed the very last people to do anything about it, the people we need to rely on are who? Us. The only thing that will change the world is we all gather together and create that. That's a fact. It's nobody else, and you can't point the finger outside like you want to vilify plastic. You can't do those things. You got to look inside. You recognize that it's us. You may even have that demon in your own head, or you may have doubts, questions, everything else. Oh, I don't know if I am, but you're going to walk through it because you know that on the other side of it is your journey. And a part of that is pulling out your phone, which I need you to do right now, and I need you to scan that QR code. And I need everyone to take out their phone. Everyone takes out their phone. Everyone scans that QR code. And that's going to take you to a place where you get to join a movement. And that's how you start. And then if you want to participate further, if you think your business could have purpose inside of it, saving humanity, ending poverty, stopping plastic pollution from entering the oceans, and if that is something that you think your customers would want, then please come and talk to us. That's Noah in the back. There's Phil there. Taylor is over here. We're here to change humanity. It's not enough to walk past us and be shy. You get to show up as a human today and say, yes, I believe, I'm standing for it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free, for F's sake. It's just free. Join the movement. Be a part of that. There's all kinds of other ways to join. If you want your business to be a part of it and you want to actually participate and you want to stand on the other side of history and say, yeah, every month I'm going to take 100,000 bottles from the environment and I'm going to let poverty, I'm going to solve that, and I'm going to send my customers because they get to win a sweepstakes and they can come and visit us in Bali and they can be there and you can create content and you want to post all of those things. We do all of that. We have an incredibly robust program for small business that allows you to have it now because it doesn't need to be perfect. You can start today, embed purpose now, create that, work with that, go on the journey of that, and then evolve. But begin. Because the only thing we don't have is time. Speaking of which. Thank you, everyone. I'm David. You all know the story, David and Goliath, the biblical story? David and Goliath. I'm David. My Goliath is poverty, degradation of the oceans. I'm David, fighting Goliath. So you'll remember my name. And I'm here. I'm hanging out. I've met many of you already. I'm super approachable, super fun. And I just want to be in conversation with all of you. I'm here for coffee and everything. Come see me. Give me your comments. Give me a high five. Do whatever. Thank you. Thank you.